Executive and Vice Chancellor, Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Andrew Tan, Dean of the School of Digital Technology, Director of the Center for Research and Innovation, distinguished members of the university, esteemed deans of Wawasan Open University, our honored guest speaker, respected lecturers, staff members, and dear students. A very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Rachel, and I'm from the School of Digital Technology. It's my pleasure to be your MC for today, Adjunct Professorial Lecture Series. On behalf of Wawasan Open University, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Today's Adjunct Professorial Lecture is titled, Don't Just Automate, Reimagine the Journey to AI Native Processes. As artificial intelligence continues to reshape industries, organizations are moving beyond simply automating existing tasks to fundamentally reimagining how work is designed and executed. Today's session will explore how AI native processes can unlock new capabilities, enhance innovation, and create sustainable business impact. We are honored to welcome our speaker, Leonard Tan, a seasoned industry leader with 29 years of experience at Dell Technologies. Throughout his distinguished career, he has led global initiatives in manufacturing, digital transformation, and innovation. More recently, he has spearheaded the development of AI-powered solutions that accelerate product and service innovations across the organization. We are indeed privileged to have him here to share his valuable insights and real-world experiences with us today. Without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome and a round of applause as we welcome Leonard Tan to deliver his guest lecture. The floor is yours.
All right. Is to really to bridge the gap between what is the industry is doing today and what are the academia are doing today, so we don't have really a big. I can adjust it, no problem, no worries, no worries. Yeah. My part-time job is a singer. I'm just kidding. I'm a composer, but I'll talk about that later. Yeah, so again, let me repeat that. I'm trying to make sure that we bridge the gap because we know in Malaysia, we have probably like 34 million people. How many people in China? 1.4 billion? India? 1.4 billion. How many people know what's the population of Vietnam? Nobody know. 100 million. Malaysia is peanut, right? So how do we increase our talent? How do we do that? So I think, and we are also lucky that Malaysia is one of the industry of semiconductor industry is huge. I think we're number 3 or number 4, I can't remember, who supply all these components globally from a semiconductor perspective. But I think that is really important for us to know where is our value proposition. So my goal here today is to really share, not until the detail, and make sure that I don't breach any NDA, that I shouldn't be disclosing anything. But just a fundamental, what I think the academia or even SMEs, I know there's some SMEs here, or I have my fellow Dell colleague here as well, right, join me today. Okay, so it's all about AI native processes, and since we're in the education sector, I will cover a bit about what can we do in almost everywhere, including academia, not just in a big company like MNC. I will try to cover until what I think SME can do and what I think academia can do, right? So let's begin. First of all, I need to make sure that we understand what is AI native definition means and what is embedded AI. You can Google this if you want. As a matter of fact, you can talk to AI right now, it will tell you an answer. Maybe they will tell you that don't trust me, right? 2 years ago when I talked to AI, it sounds silly. But today, it's getting more and more accurate. How many of you today use AI every day? Wow. Every day, eh? How do you use it? Huh? Ask question. You know, I drive to work every day, and it took me about 45 minutes to reach the office, and then vice versa, probably another 1 hour coming back from the office to Tanjung Bunga. And I'm lonely because I'm driving alone. So I talk to AI every day, right? At least almost 2 hours, right? And the weekend, I call it AI detox. You have to detox with AI. It's just get your head crazy, right? But you learn so fast. What I'm trying to say is knowledge has been democratized. Imagine those things you want to learn last time. You have to Google it, right? Or you have to search it. We are in the era of reasoning. We're trying to reason what we're trying to find out. You don't ask AI about, hey, you know, what is WOU, or, you know, what is this or what is that. You don't ask like that. Or where is this place? You ask about the problem that you want to solve. You know, I have this problem. How do I do this? You reason with AI right now, and it will find you the best solution that you want, right? Sometimes when you want to eat, I want to eat this food, I want to go that place only, but you didn't even know nearby there are a lot more food that is available, and it's nearer and it's cheaper, right? Something like that. All right, so I'll start with embedded AI first. If you look at today processes or workflow, you know, whether you are at work, at home, or anywhere, they are being designed based on an older technology, right? Older technology. So what happened is, most people will do is they bring AI and they squeeze it into those processes. For example, if I want to learn something, can I do it when I'm driving? Can I do that last time? You know, you have to key in something, right? So you ended up cause an accident, right? So now they have the live version of AI where you can just talk to it. As a matter of fact, how do you all call your AI? You know, how do you call your AI? You name it? Right, for example, this is what I'm going to do. Hey Google, let's talk. How's the weather today?
Let me check that for you quickly. In Georgetown right now, it's about 91 degrees Fahrenheit with some light thunderstorm rain, though it feels much warmer, like 105 degrees. You'll want to look out for scattered thunderstorms throughout the day, with temperatures reaching a high of around 91.
Okay, let's talk about the AI news today. What do you know about? What's the hot topic?
Right now, the big discussions are centering on how to govern these powerful new systems. There's a lot of focus on international standards, especially with the UN Global Dialogue.
I'll pause there. Is that how you use it? No? Not the same as I do? But that's how I use it. Put it in my car. My personal assistant is helping me to learn about what's the news of today, what's the weather look like. I even can connect to my workspace. I can ask my Google map, hey, I'm going to direction, how the jam look like. It tells me everything. It converts to become an AI assistant for me, my personal assistant. There's a lot of hardware that is not designed with this assistant yet, right? Your home, your car. Imagine if those cars have all the cameras ready that can connect it to your personal assistant, what it can do, right? So a lot of things, technology today are being designed based on the older technology. We have not even figured out how do we include AI technology in all those workflow. This is where the next generation is trying to figure it out, how to make it better, right? These are the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, maybe Gen Beta, right? It's going to come in and figure this out. So embedded AI, if you look at here, the example they give here is like a vacuum, and that even an old type of vacuum. Do you still use that vacuum or use that robot vacuum? robot vacuum, right? You schedule it right now, right? And how to, and they have right now the one that dispose and clean by itself. But it's still reactive. What if you don't need to use the vacuum anymore? Have everybody thought about that? With AI. We don't know yet. Somebody will. Some innovative company will figure it out. So AI native is really trying to, let's open up this blueprint and start thinking, what are we trying to achieve here? What are we trying to achieve here? And let's rethink by putting this AI to do it for us. So we don't have to do it anymore. Like for example, just now on the phone, I don't have to press anymore. I just say, and by the way, when my phone connected to my car, I assume the Bluetooth connection is secure, so it automatically unlock my phone. I don't have to unlock it. And then I talk, and I say, hey Google, let's talk. And I start talking to my Google. I'm using Gemini Pro, by the way, right? And those students if you are students, register to Gemini Pro, you get 1 year free. By the way, I use my son's account, and I got 1 year free as well. Okay, that's the loophole. But it's fantastic, right? GM 3.5 Flash. So back to this AI native. If you want to think about a simple way of thinking about it is don't just jump to the conclusion, let's put AI on it. That's where majority of us going to do it wrong, right? Even in my organization. First of all, people say, hey, for example, I just had one discussion with my team, and she used Devin. Devin is another fantastic. Anybody know what Devin is? Used to be known as Windsurf. Is a AI assistant to write code. And you don't even need to know how to write code. And you can write one, right? So it actually writes something for one of my staff, but it's kind of reactive, the process is, I have to input this and input that and input this. But then I ask, if you can get those data ready, you don't have to enter all those anymore, right? It automatically populated. So we have to think proactively. Similar thing when you're trying to design an AI native workflow, how do you make sure that the flow is actually, you have to sit back, map it out, and start to think what my model or my use case is and how do I put it in there. So an example I'm going to talk to you about McDonald's. I love this example. I'm not sure how many of you know that in 2021 to 2024, McDonald's did a pilot with IBM. They put an agent in a drive-thru. This is where they're trying to do an embedded AI. So they replace an agent, or a human, in that drive-thru with an agent. And the project actually failed, right? So they have to scrap it and start a new one with Google right now. This year they started with Google. But if you look back, what happened to IBM and together with, they're just trying to figure out, let's replace this. And they have a lot of problem, bandwidth problem. The one I'm putting there, 200 nuggets and ice cream with bacon on it, that's real thing. That's what happened when you order. You can order 200,000 nuggets, and it'll give you 200,000 nuggets, right? There's one video on YouTube, they order water, and then this thing keep on giving water. And so something is not right, okay? And if you look at the shops today, if you go and order coffee or drinks from Zeus Coffee or Chai, what do you use? Your phone? Your phone, right? So when I look at this, what I'm trying to do, I said, wait a minute, why you need to create a kiosk when the phone is a kiosk? Instead of have one kiosk, the kiosk follow all over you, right? So you have an app, act as a kiosk. That solved one problem, but they didn't do it. Of course, Google here is showing that they're doing it, right? As a matter of fact, Google owns Google Maps, so they have a better way of accuracy of detecting those. But the problem also is connecting to the cloud. So how do you solve that problem with bandwidth? How do you solve that problem with bandwidth? So in this example, I'm not sure some of you, if you go to a restaurant now, you can order your food by scanning a QR code. Have you ever encountered where you're trying to order and it's very slow? It's not connecting. And then suddenly that guy comes to you and says, what do you want to, I order for you, You sit here for half an hour, you haven't ordered yet. And you are there trying to order, right? You know what the problem with that? Bandwidth, right? Or maybe the line. The restaurant is located in a place that there's no repeater can reach to that mobile phone. So, one way of solving the problem is they ask you, hey, connect to my Wi-Fi, my shop Wi-Fi. Then you order. And you connect the Wi-Fi, I can only order from there. You cannot go to internet. They won't allow you. Smart. But again, it didn't solve the problem. So what Google did with McDonald's is they create an AI solution on the edge. So the good news I found out was Dell is the hardware infrastructure for them. So they place these hardware at the edge at every shop in McDonald's. So that speed up the whole entire connection, right? Of course, you want to fine tune, you want to train a model to go back to the mothership, but the edge is doing all this. And if you think about all the edge right now, just recently I was reading and watching one of the YouTube channel, and he mentioned about the top 10 AI models in the world today. Yeah, maybe Claude is the powerful one. Do you know that there are about 5 AI models from China that is open source? It's listed as one of the top 10. I think one of them is GLM. I'm sure you heard about that model. Really good. And they're open source. Right? So this open source model can be placed in a hardware, smaller hardware, like even Dell hardware. Sorry that I'm trying to advertise Dell as well, but yeah. We have this GB10 small box with 128 gigabyte of VRAM, if I'm not mistaken, right? The model I'm using in the office, for example, is the GPT OSS 120B. It's an open source model. You can download those, and it has 120 billion parameters. It probably need about 60 to 70 gigabyte of VRAM to run. That small box can run it. Imagine this small box. You need a big, huge server to run it. Now you can run it in that box. So what does it mean? The democratization of technology moved from higher enterprise all the way to the edge. You can build this at home. You can build this, and when I say we can build it at home or in any smaller company, that means the processes in your office can be part of the AI native as well. So over here, the solution that Google is working with McDonald's is really trying to look at, remap the entire process. What is the biggest problem, and how do we make sure that this can be done, faster with AI? Let me ask you, when I finished Form 6, I was working as a temporary teacher, right? And my friend worked in McDonald's. So there's one day we get together and he asked me this question. So, Leonard, what's the most expensive food in McDonald's? I don't know, burger? Chicken? I don't know. He said, no, it's fries. I said, what? What do you mean? That's not expensive. No, it's expensive because it expired really fast. Oh, that makes sense. So I'm not sure you all realize, if you go to KFC, you go to McDonald's, you go anywhere and they serve fries, sometimes you hate their fries because it's soggy and not tasty. Why is it McDonald's one always tastes good? I'm not sure you realize or not. My son always said that. Because they prepare it right on time, making sure the fries is ready, a few minutes before you eat them. That's how they're doing it. So how do you want to achieve that kind of quality with AI? You see, when they drop the fries, 1 minute when you're driving, you're arriving already, they know that you're near, you're 1 minute, okay, preparing your fries already. The moment you arrive, you want to pick up from the window, your fries is ready and fresh, and when you eat them, it still tastes so good. Now I understand what my friends say, why is it McDonald's, fries is so expensive. So that kind of use case is being used as well, and using AI to understand how to solve that problem. Now, this is just a graphical representation of even what I'm doing in my organization. I don't want to talk about things here that I'm not doing it. We are doing it. We are still developing it. We're developing solution where we have control panel, monitoring things that human doing it manually. In any development in the industry, I remember I worked with, when I was talking to Dr. Hari, I remember in Motorola, and I found out that whatever things you develop, you call it develop, 70% of your time, you're doing testing. Right? Development only 30%. The entire process is development, but you are spending 70% of the time testing. So that's what we did. First of all, we figured out how to simplify, standardize, and automate. And then we automate our process so when we test it, it's basically automatically testing. So we really shift our engineers to focus on development, and any free time from the 70%, what do we do? What do we do with the 70% free time now? We learn about AI. You know, in a company like Dell itself, we have all the opportunity. I really want to advertise Dell where it gave you opportunity to learn. It's really up to you to learn. Don't wait and see. I like what Tan Sri Edru said every time. Eat lunch or be lunch. Right? So pick it up, learn it. And we learned about Copilot Studio earlier. We have our own internal Dell solutions of AI chatbot with all the models. That's where we cannot use external one, right? We have to use something that we have internally. But those are basically from testing, and I'll show to you in a moment what do I mean by that. But this is the goal we were trying to achieve. So we are actually getting near to this. We are getting near to understand how do we build an AI native workflow where even the development is done automatically. We're not there yet, to be honest. But we see the potential. We see the capability. And I'm here to share that, you know, I think for a simpler use case outside, it already can be done. Just because our use case is a bit more complicated, that doesn't mean it cannot work in your use cases, okay? So this is what I'm trying to talk about just now. Activity, capability, scalability. I think about a month ago, I attended this in PSDC, talking about innovation from activity to capability. I just want to tell Dr. Kaur that it's not just activity and capability. We have to talk about scalability right now. Can we scale with that solution? Yes, you can probably use AI, as of most of you, but do you have a problem using it? If you use the free version, what's the problem? Anybody? What kind of limitation? Okay. Anybody else have any problem using the AI today? Yes. No, don't have time? Oh, number of times. Okay, great. Anybody else? One more. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what I usually experience is mostly with the memory outages, so managing memory.
Context window.
Yes, context windows are usually
Right.
the most
And
common.
how do these AI model measure the context window?
Well, with your optimization of tokens.
Tokens,
Yeah.
that's right. And if you heard about token maxing, that's the end of the thing that I'm going to share later on, but I can mention it right now. Every company now is measured the number of tokens they have and how many you can use it. So do you, right? When you use the free one, how many times you can use? 3, 4 times, and they say, oh, you're out of credit. Try again tomorrow, right? So you ended up having to do it tomorrow. It slow you down, so you ended up buying it. Not unless for student you can register for the free one, right? So there'll always be that kind of opportunity. But this is what I found out, right? That the token itself is very expensive. I think Uber announced that the budget that they have for a year, they use up within 1 quarter. So things getting more and more expensive. But I also noticed that because of it's too expensive, people are shifting into the edge. They are shifting internally. So if I can build my own model in my own hardware, I don't pay any token anymore, isn't it? Hence the popularity of OpenClaw, NemoClaw, right? All these AI models that can be nested in an engine like Olama. You know, people start building them more. Before that, you need a powerful hardware. Now you have GB10, small box, and AMD launched another one as well, another smaller box, right? Slightly not as powerful as NVIDIA, but hey, for use case, why do you need so powerful one? So in the example I gave sometimes, people are trying to use Cloud Opus 4.8, And the question they ask is, how do I cook fried chicken? That's a waste of token, isn't it? Right? So we must understand what do we use before we actually use it. Use the free one until you're exhausted, and then okay, maybe I need to use the paid one. Okay? So even for my team, we're using what we call Devin right now, or the old name is Windsurf. I told you just now how to program, how to write a code. Just by prompting. Yeah, there's no coding. You just prompt, the code will write for you, right? And we use the free version. And 90% of the time, it did a good job. Things that takes us 3 weeks, get it done in 3 days. With free version. Of course, with a more paid version with Claude Opus in there, it can do a better job of writing the code. But do we need that? So you have to consider which one do you use. What I'm showing to you here is we do a lot of proof of concept, prototyping. And we're using even a simple chatbot. Because think about this, if your LLM are not smart enough, how do you think from an AI native flow perspective it can fix the problem? You won't. You're going to create a bigger problem, just like what McDonald's did. The model is not smart enough, and end up people order chicken nuggets, you give 200 of it, and some ice cream with bacon in it. The model is just not smart enough. And yet you put it into the workflow. Are you asking for trouble, right? So we're going to make sure the model actually can really work, and this is what we're doing. So when we did that experiment, what we found out is from a smaller data is fine. The context window is fine if you just ask for simple data. But what happens when you have 50,000 rows of Excel spreadsheet, 400 pages of document that changes every week, every month? How are we going to deal with those dynamic changes? Human can't even comprehend with that. And that's where we're going to bring AI to help us to do that. So once we do that, we use Devin to learn how to code it. We learn how to code even in database. I'll cover database a quick one, and I'm sharing this to the students, even to outside, right? You have probably MySQL, all the free version. We're using the Postgres SQL with PG Vector extension. Again, a bit more technical, but the whole idea is for data management. So when you are querying something from your model to the database, it is more scalable. We did an experiment. We put an Excel spreadsheet, 100 row, no problem. You remember everything. The moment we put 1,000 row, that's where you go haywire. You can't even find a single thing that we want. We know it's capable when it's small, but when it's getting bigger, it's not capable anymore. So how do we scale? And we found out that one of the most important things is data management. Data engineering is super crucial in here. If you don't manage your data or do all these embeddings and technique that help you to make your model more efficient, you're going to get it wrong all the time. So this is where we're still developing, but we already see we went through from 100 rows to 1,000 rows, and the accuracy is amazing, right? How that actually showed us. All right. So in the end, when we final coding the entire solution, this is where we put an AI native into the flow. I'll show you some of the use cases in a moment. Okay, let's talk about data management challenges. Before you can do all this, how do you download this data? It's called tacit knowledge into an explicit one. How do you do that? That's one of the biggest human problems today. Okay? How do you document an information in your head inside a document? Because the AI cannot read it from here. You have to place it somewhere. And all this data are basically fuel, gold, petroleum, right? Gas, very expensive now. They're very expensive. But yet, humans are not good enough in delivering or storing them. So skill gap is one of them, but resistant to change is another problem. As I mentioned just now, how do you do documentation today? Do you do it frequently? Right? And most of you probably who do the documentation, you will probably ask this question, why am I doing this? Who's reading them? How many of you realize, go and ask, you'll be surprised. I did the survey. We did a survey for our own documentation. We thought 1,000 people read them. 3 people read them. Yeah, it's true. So all this documentation you spend for hours and weeks with your team, 3 people read them, right? You put a long post in LinkedIn, who wants to read them? Yeah, I do the experiment, nobody read them. You put something, a few lines in X, all people read them. Just 2 lines. That's why X, Twitter are so popular, right? It's 2 lines. Everything more than 5 seconds, the span of attention for this current generation is so bad. You put 10 seconds, they will not listen to you anymore. That's why the popularity of TikTok is good. 5 seconds, swipe, 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 swipe. And it creates dopamine in your brain. Become addictive. People swipe, 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 swipe. I don't know what I'm going to get next. Like gambling, right? Why do you think those pop mart boxes, blind boxes, so popular? Because I don't know what I'm going to get next. It's crazy how people use dopamine to do business, if you know what I mean. All right, but that is one of the problems, right? How do you make sure that you have that you can encourage your team to document? And one of the way is to really tell them the vision, to share with them, the team, where are we going and why we're doing this. So a few years ago, I started with a team about documenting about what you troubleshoot, how do you fix it, what do you contain it, and it's what your preventive action. People use those tools just for communication, but they never use it to store information. And I told the team, I said, no, we got to change. These are data, very important data. I can't tell you what it will look like right now, but down the road, I will show you how it works. And the time has come, beginning of this year, we show the team and say, see, this is what you documented. And I do some experiment of it. For example, I have a meeting room, and we have an issue, and I ask my team, anybody know what is issue? Everyone just have no idea, right? And I go back to this guy, his name is Alfred. Alfred, you put this thing somewhere around April, right? A notification. Do you remember that? Don't remember it. But it was just like 4 months ago. You don't remember 4 months ago? No, I don't remember. And Yao Tong, you fixed this problem in May. You hard-coded, you fixed it already. You can remove that notification already. Do you remember that? No, I don't remember. So my agent is smarter than you. Human, can't even remember, right? And that's one of the important things. We cannot remember. I mean, how many of you can remember what you eat for lunch yesterday? That guy there is still thinking, what the hell I had? Oh, lunch? Did I have lunch? Maybe, how about last week? Last week, Thursday, what did you have for lunch? Can't remember. If the food is really bad, you maybe remember if you have diarrhea, right? That's where you have experience. So that's the goal, having experience. There you go, we can't remember them. So it's very important to store this information, okay? What we notice in the organization, lack of standardization, poor data governance, like I mentioned just now, inefficient data quality control. Again, some people just put it there. The issue, what's the root cause? Done. What do you mean by done? How do you fix it? Done. So they use that just to tell people, I'm done. But all the knowledge is still in here. Now that's a problem. How do I know how to fix it next time? Or how do I know how do I prevent it? Or did you actually prevent it? I have no idea. Right? And then after that, we have different organizations store differently. You keep yours, they keep theirs, and you keep yours. And suddenly I want to find out about yours. From there, I want to find out from here. No, you cannot. But with the era of AI, this data has been democratized. Not just democratized, but speed up. Imagine if you can learn so fast, like how I chat with AI this morning. Imagine the action that you can do. How fast can you do something? How fast can you react? And that's what we learned so far. The faster we go things, the faster I learn with AI. So far when you look at all this presentation, do you know I created it while I'm driving? I don't create this at work. I don't create this at home. While I'm driving, chatting, I can prove it to you. It's all in my phone. Then I just send it here. and I compiled it. So Andrew thought I worked very hard to prepare the presentation. No, I don't. I just talk to it and say, okay, I like that one. Can you create that deck for me? Okay. Now they haven't integrated fully in my workspace yet, but I can store it into my Google Drive. Okay? But things are getting, much easier right now. Imagine if I want to prepare this deck, how many days or weeks I have to spend? Crazy, man. I can't draw this. This is high-level way of doing presentation. All right, technology, legacy system integration. Right, you use SharePoint or you use whatever earlier on. You want to change, then the resistance to change. Human doesn't want to change. Especially those are, in Gen X. You should be thankful that you are Gen X. I'm a Gen X, right? Yeah. Oh, you are too? Okay. Now everyone know your age. Yeah, you're supposed to tell. Gen X, right? You know why lucky for Gen X? I seen TV in black and white. Well, of course it's bulky one. But do you know that you have to put it up to 30 minutes before you can watch anything? You have to warm up, right? Yeah, the remote you have is a stick that is very long. That's the remote. Or I'm the remote because I'm the youngest one, so you have to walk over there and change the channel, right? And the only thing you can watch is RTM1 and some P. Ramlee movies. And every holidays you're gonna watch some circus. And sometimes the circus is repeated that what they showed last year, and you watch it again. My goodness, right? Thanks to TV, I learned about Sesame Street, so that's how I learned my English, right? Through TV. Yeah, I'm lucky. But Gen X, until now, if you notice that we're in an era of AI, how thankful we are. I'm not sure if the millennials since black and white TV, I don't think so. Some of even the tapes and the turntable, they have no idea what are those, right? But somehow the Gen Alpha is really liking all this retro stuff. They buy retro stuff. They go to thrift store buying used clothes. I don't understand that. Why do they do that? It looks more seasoned, right? Y2K gonna dress. I'm not sure you all know about this. I learned this from my son. Interesting era. I don't know what's going to be Generation Alpha and Beta going to look like. That'll be interesting in their era to know. But this is, again, another challenges about it. And then talk about scalability and then tool. Sometimes it's overlap. We have multiple tools that you use together, right? So these are all challenges that we have. And I try to bring this up so you know that it's not as easy as plug and play. The first thing you have to get through is the human problem. These are all mainly human problem. Want to manage data yourself? Oh, easy, just build a PostgreSQL. Really? Where your data come from? Human. Oh, now I have a problem. I don't have the data. How do I collect the data? Right? Especially those companies who have a proprietary data that only you have it. And you don't want to use other people's model. That you hope that you build your own model and fine-tune your own model. That's the problem. People doesn't want to use the big model because it can actually share the data and you're actually helping the other model to get better. Even in your phone, right? You can turn off the one that recognizes you if you want to. I didn't turn it off. I'm okay. Nothing secret here. I want my assistant to know who I am. So he will greet me, Leonard, good morning. Right? Do you have that? My assistant greet me, yeah. He will mention my name. You know who I am. You know about all the discussion. Recently, he knows that I'm an adjunct professor for WOU. Yeah. And the title for this, I asked it. I said, hey, what's the best title I give for WOU? I want to talk about this and that. Boom, it came out a few lists for me. Oh, I like that one. And then that's how I sent it to you. See, my assistant helped me. But of course, I own the content, right? If you just ask AI without knowing the content, I don't know what to talk about today. I'm going to be doing it really bad today. This is an example of how do we do our data management. From Excel spreadsheet, how do we transfer 50,000, 100,000 of content all the way to a PostgreSQL database? Of course, we use PG vector, extension, JSON B column, all this terminology. You probably learn about it. Learn it in Talk to AI. You'll find out about all this stuff. They're free. Knowledge right now is not just in the boundary of a school or a college. They are free. Let me repeat that, free, free, free. Go to YouTube. You want to learn how to build this? Go to YouTube, teach you how to do it. I told my team, a few years ago, you were asked about, hey, Leonard, I want to go to training. What training? Go to YouTube, they're all there. Right? How many of you still attended classroom training? I don't believe that anymore, to be honest. For me, classroom training is a waste of time. Yeah, it's a waste of time. Lecture like this may be better than the other. We got to show example. But I'm telling the training provider, if you don't have anything to sandbox, to try it out, to hands-on, you're not going to be able to build your value proposition anymore. The classroom training is an old workflow, isn't it not? Right? If you attend a classroom training, maybe the only thing you remember at the time is how bad is the food. Did they give for free? Everything else you've forgotten, right? How many of you can remember those classroom training after you leave it? It's like blank, isn't it? And your boss asks you, I remember about this, one of my colleagues sends his team to go for PMP training. It's expensive training. Okay. Expensive training, and ended up, he asked his team to provide, what do you learn? They give them a snapshot of one of the page in that training. That's all. All right. So, again, this is just an example, and I don't even use the real data here just to let you know these are all fake data. Right? How do you extract and how do you use Postgres SQL just to make sure the data is more JSON B embedding model. So we do have an embedding model that we connected internally, so we can create embeddings. What embedding actually means, in a simple explanation, you take those words and you convert them into a list of numbers that representing it semantically, which means it has meaning on it. So the moment people prompt something, they will refer to these embeddings or vector, and it will react really fast, rather than just they have to read one by one. So that's how it actually works. I might not explain it correctly, but All right, use case number 1. This is talking about the issue management just now. Now, I went to SanDisk somewhere around early this year. Right? SanDisk is one of the Dell technology customer. They bought our, I think, the H200 server, powerful Hopper GPUs. And I saw in their factory how they actually do troubleshooting automatically. So happened we were standing there in that control center, an issue happened. And they purposely put a chair that this is my agent, invisible, you can't see them. And you can see it from the computer panel, things start to work by itself, right? And then after that, they would just instruct the robot, do whatever, and done, boom, the process continue. That's amazing. And they use that, they already built their solution that way. And for us, we're doing something similar right now. We're trying to do something similar, right? But it's a bit more complicated because our things is not that, because it's dynamic, not like standardized manufacturing is always the same for the next couple of months, but this is like, it keep on changing. But this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that we build the database knowing what to do, how to troubleshoot, including all the documentation, specification, and stuff like that. So the agent is helping us to do all this issue analysis for us. Today, the workflow is, I got an issue, now I have to go to the database and I have to search the thing one by one, I have to read them. I can't remember my lunch last week, how can I remember what happened last 2 months ago? So I have to read all this stuff. By the time I'm ready, maybe about a day or 2 days, 3 weeks, I don't know, depending how long you want to troubleshoot. This guy give you in 3 seconds. Here you go. Like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do. So that workflow, in a way, if you zoom in, is already AI native, because what human used to do is no longer there. Right? The agent is helping us to do it. As you zoom out, the true AI native workflow is when everything end to end is fully automated, which means from the issue to discover, how to troubleshoot it, instruct the machine to do the changes, and then test it and deploy it, and you're done. So the whole system is fully automated. This is another one that it's a bit more complicated, but we are working on BIOS settings that we're trying to make sure we can enable on automatically. But similar structure, similar way of doing it. How do we identify, how do we go through our data, and how do we make sure that we can do all this identification and automation that by the help of by the agent and the model itself to troubleshoot. I know I have less than 10 minutes now, but this is the last page, I promise. Now AI entered a cost-cautious era. I think you heard about the term token maxing. Token maxing. So everyone is utilized, as I mentioned earlier in this lecture, that we have so many companies now think AI is so expensive. And I think in my experience so far that even the tool that we use like Devin or Windsor, we don't use the paid version, we use the free one. And we achieve remarkable result already. But I'm seeing potential other organization where they are using the paid version but without a proper ROI. And that's why now more and more company, right? Not just in Dell, but you can notice that I saw that there is a tweet I think coming from Elon Musk. At first he said everyone can use it. And now they're controlling it. And make sure that they control the amount of token you can use because they're expensive. You can spend a few $100 million, without noticing it. So this is where I think, we have to start thinking. Really identify the use case they were in, right? That's why number one, use the right LLM model that fits the right use case. You don't have to use Claude Opus 4.8 or Mythos or Fable for something that is so simple, like cooking a fried chicken. You can ask a free one, it can do it for you. And when you look at in your work, and if you're doing something that is so simple, why do you need to use an expensive model? Why? You don't have to, right? So that's one thing. Second, make sure that the data management is properly done because I believe so far 80% of how to make it more scalable depend on your data and depend on how you manage it. If you just put something with 400 pages of documentation, 50,000 row of Excel spreadsheet and hope it work well, that's it won't work. But as a personal assistant, like if you use Google, now I only have Google Gem, but Spark probably going to be launched. I'm not sure Malaysia will allow or not. But Google Spark is amazing. It's an AI agent by itself. It can do everything for me right now, including moving all my bills, document it, put it in my Google Drive and stuff like that. I don't have to do that anymore, right? So it's all being designed in there. From a from a consumer perspective, yeah, I can just use the paid version, and if I want to go for a paid version, it's about 99 ringgit a month for the pro version. Some of you already use ChatGPT and probably a bit more expensive. All right, so making sure, re-ranking, embedding models, all this stuff to be done in that. And then the third one is looking at MCP or API. API, again, for me, API is an older technology. You call an API because you develop it so you can call that application via an API. But you don't use that to talk to AI. So MCP or this protocol is being invented by Anthropic actually, right? And it is being designed to really communicate with multiple tools like database or your other tools and stuff like that. My team right now is still learning, but we're developing some of those workflow already. We have a workflow or instruction. If you build an agent that's instruction, right? How do we turn those instructions to become an MCP? And you can just download those fast MCP Python library and then learn how to write an MCP servers. This is really for the students. You will know how to do it. Do it at home. Yeah, do it at home. You don't need a lot of that, right? So last but not least, how much time do I have? 3 minutes, 5 minutes, okay. I think that's the cue.
Hello, Tess.
Thanks. Thank you so much for the presentation. It's really,
Sure.
really helpful.
May I know your name, please?
Yeah, Philip. I've got a business that's actually doing AI transformation consulting for businesses.
Awesome.
So, so as part of your own experience, what I'm curious to ask you is that when implementing a lot of these things into a big corporation like Dell, actually I used to work at Dell as well, in the inside sales accounts for ANZ.
Nice.
I saw you have people, process, and technology, or rather human, process, and technology.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those three things, when applying it, what has been the biggest blocker so far when trying to implement this technology?
I think so far I'm seeing human or leadership, to be more precise, leadership. I have to learn this myself. I have to find out myself. Nobody told me what to do, but I know that I need to transform. I know that we're in an era of technology. So I use my example, not to brag about it, but to really, put your leg in the proper area, the shoe that you're wearing right now, and get your hands dirty. Try it out. At home, as I mentioned just now, I'm a composer. So I use AI to write songs. I use Suno, for example. And it actually gave me a lot of idea from that experience. But in the office, again, I have to explore all this tool, learn about it, find out the information, whether it is within Dell or even outside in YouTube, chat with the AI. So leadership is one of the biggest blocker, in my opinion. Now, from top down, from our COO, if you listen to the Dell technology, what they call that forum, right? Even I'm listening on the second day where Jeff Clark was saying he has OpenClaw installed in his own system. He's doing it himself, right? So I think, first of all, leadership himself need to do this. If that leader doesn't understand how that works, it's very, very hard for you to design or to even articulate and to create learning curve for your team, where they want to start and what they need to do, right? So that's the biggest one.
Thanks. I guess just to follow up on that is that I'm curious to know inside of your organization, what are the methods that you actually get stakeholder buy-in to actually implement some of these things, kind of get the ball rolling. Understand like from leadership top down, that's always a good way as well. But then
Right.
People are scared about their job being automated away from them.
Yeah.
And some people think that their job will be
Replace.
In fact, if anything, I think the executives and the managers are in more trouble than the people who are doing the work. So,
Yeah.
Middle management is in more trouble.
Right.
But I think like I'm just curious to know when you're trying to distribute this kind of transformation throughout an entire organization, there's a lot of layers to try and get stakeholder buy-in to actually implement and all of these things. What are some of the things that Dell is doing to make that transformation?
Yeah, that's a great question. As a matter of fact, I think that's why I say, come and join Dell. We follow policy.
Come back, is it? Come
Yeah,
back.
come back. We have policy, but all these things we are learning, we are following a flow of opportunities that Dell itself have created, and you can apply this. Right? You applied it, get approval from your manager, and that's it. And you can start doing development. Of course, we are now still in the development phase, but once you do the production phase, that's where we have to go through a much more higher approval. But even some of those during development, I already see the successful result during development because we already start using the models, right? We already seeing result while doing prototyping. We don't even need to scale yet. In some cases, depending on the use case, if it's not big enough, I don't need a lot of context window. I don't even need to go to production. I using development, it's working already. So in Dell, as you know, we have our governance, we have our policy, we have to make sure the process, right? But this is in a big MNC like this. I'm sure the MNC, like Motorola or Intel, they probably create a similar environment for their employees to do a lot of the experiment, to do this kind of prototyping. And for those who are good enough, go to the next level, build your own AI system. That's where my team is involved. We don't just use what's been ready made. We code it ourselves, right? A lot more flexible in terms of creating instruction, connecting to database, managing your own database, a lot more flexibility that we can learn how to scale it. But outside, if you are a small company, nobody stop you. But maybe what's stopping those in a small company is infrastructure, right? I need the hardware. But then this is where a lot of company right now, including Dell, is coming up with those small solutions, like the GB10, small box can run a very powerful model, probably more than enough for your use case in your office, right? Good question, by the way. Thank you.
Thanks.
Right. Any other question? Yes, sir.
This is in a general statement. I was actually asking this with my AI agent this morning.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm challenging him now. Or her.
So I was learning this from the news and also all these informations that been speculating. Don't know whether it's true or not, where a lot of investments been placed by bigger companies through database to have AI in the front line. But with the hike of price in memories and chips, they are getting a speculation where it can be a burst of AI bubble.
Oh, the bubble. Oh.
Yeah, and many of them experts are mentioning that because normally last time before AI, any development it will take, as you mentioned, it will go into prototyping and then we'll go for testing phase. So it will take exactly approximately 5 years for us to see or face the development and also for the testing. But with AI, it's happening in months, it's happening in weeks.
Yeah.
So the rapid change, will it make a bubble and then it goes slow, or it will be in a drastic, fast pace more?
Wow, this question, I don't know how to answer this question. These financial economists need to come up with
Yes.
it. But, I hope Tan Sri Andrew is here. Maybe he knew how to answer that. Whether there's an AI bubble or not. Anyway, I listen to people like Mark Cuban, right? If you listen to one of his talk about OpenAI, he is totally don't believe in OpenAI, which is weird, right? And he said that they're just throwing money, right? If you listen to the CEO of Palantir, right? They develop all this security system for the United States.
Right.
He has a question asking, if your AI model is really so good, why can't you just don't charge them token? Just promise the company, if you can, I can increase your business to $1 billion and I take 30% of that. Why don't you offer like that? None of them can. None of them can, right? But then I started thinking. I said, the reason is because they, in my opinion, when I look at all this stuff, because the native workflow, the real solution is not being embedded yet. Right now, it's still on the surface, right? But it's gonna go. It's gonna get there. It's gonna get there. And people talking about losing jobs, I don't think so. It replaces the task doesn't mean your job is gonna lose, right? In one case, people said you're gonna get a promotion with AI because you're doing different job now, right? My team now is shifting, talking to human more, talking with product group, people on the shift left that we have to communicate more, driving down the issue that we're seeing as a group that on the right side of the process flow. Before that, we are so busy in this, we don't have time to talk to this guy. But now we automate things. Again, when we do automation, doesn't mean all of them AI. The 70% automation that we do required, actually we deep dive, okay? We deep dive. 2 years ago, I'll just give you an example. I go through this class in Harvard online. It's free. Like I said, they're all free. Up to you, whether you're lazy or not. Go and learn. So I attend this class. It's about a week, but less you can do it. It's an online class. It's free, right? Then I told my team, I said, you know what? I think you can use this. So one of them the initiative to go and listen, attended this class, Harvard online, free, okay? And he found out one solution. It's called CSP algorithm. It's a machine learning algorithm. Then he go and search it. He found out that it's a file library in Python with those algorithms built in, and then use that to solve the problem that we have that he spent almost 2 years, 2%, writing 200 lines of codes. Still didn't fix the problem. 1 week training, download it, test it, put it in there, solve the problem that they're trying to figure out in 2 years. For free. For free, right? It's just a machine learning algorithm, constraint, solution, problem, something like that, CSP algorithm. So not everything you want to use AI. AI is a build of algorithm. So I dissect it and I said, wait. For our use case, why do I need to use the entire model? I just need you to use this. Just use this one. So that's one of the way of doing it. But I'm trying to tell you that whether it's a bubble or not, I don't know, right? I don't know. If I can, I'll be a billionaire tomorrow. So, but the point is, I think it have not reached to the far end of the business processes yet. but it will, and it's capable of doing that. Not only within the mega company, but it goes to the smaller one when all the infrastructure hardware can go there as well. I think that's the reason people building all this cheaper model. Like I said, the model is getting cheaper right now, right? That you can just download and use them. In China, I heard all the students are being trained how to use DeepSeek. Primary school student, not secondary. That's how fast the education is. You know, let me cover a bit about education, right, really quick. Is it true or not, if you all know, today, you still go for classroom training, right? I mean, your primary school, secondary school, that's the old workflow, right? What technology we have? A blackboard and chalk and the duster that you can use to throw at the students. Do we still have that today? No more? What do you?
We are having a digital board.
Oh, digital board.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's a new technology. But what? It's the same thing, right? You just write on it, and you can use the pen to throw at the students still.
True.
But then, if you talk about this AI technology coming in, one of the biggest problems that I realize in Malaysia is not about the students, it's about the teacher. You don't have enough teachers.
Yes.
And don't have enough expert teachers. So can you build an agent that assists the teachers? Now, for example, do we still do this? If you have children or kids, do you still get homework? You still, right?
Yes.
Homework, pass up next week, huh? Or tomorrow, something like that, right? How old is that? 50 years ago, we've been doing that. Until now, we're still doing that. That workflow needs to change. Well, so we have to lay down the foundation, the blueprint, and start thinking. If I want to get to understand, I mean, what's the goal of those homework? What's the goal? Yeah? Prepare for exam to make sure the student is capable, understand the subject. Oh yeah, that's not a problem. Memorizing facts is not a problem. But the homework intention is to make sure the students understand the subject. Right? Then you go back and you, as a teacher, I was a primary teacher. Believe me, how I do that, right? But that take a week. And do you know if the student know about it? You may not know, because what I saw was pinjam lah, lupa nak bawa ni, and get 100 marks, right? But what if you have an agent that you can do it on the spot? That all this computer right now, I can blast out a question, answer it. And all of you have a different question, so you cannot copy. But the agent help you to answer it and tell you whether you're right or wrong. And and let's say you got it right, I'll invite you to the front and say, hey, explain how you do this. Now you become a teacher, because the best learner is the teacher himself. Then you teach the other student that this is how you answer it, understand or not? Okay, now try again. On that day, on that spot, you teach a student, right? That's one example that we haven't incorporated yet, but I think that's an idea I throw to, Dr. Andrew, that we can probably collaborate on partnership to do this. Okay, with Dell, with the GB10. Okay, any other question? Maybe last one. No? Oh yeah, he's gonna ask me how to memorize. No worries. You can take your time.
All right, thank you. So I have a question, just one question, very quick one. So, especially for us as educators, right? So you're talking about AI, so student can easily use the AI agent. Okay. So how actually you want to make it differently?
A mentor role. I'm a Mentor Connect. I have 10 mentees. Mentor role. I'm a Mentor Connect. I have 10 mentees every year from different company. So I have a template that I filled up. Then I use my assistant to crunch out all the development plan for them that I design. I used to do that myself manually, but now I have an agent to do that for me automatically. So similar thing, right? My assistant will do it, and they are doing very nice, answer very clean. You can do that. Do you know how to do that? No idea? All right. So start learning how to do that. Maybe you don't have the tool. Maybe you don't know what AI model that you all have right now, like Copilot or Gemini or ChatGPT. You can build. Do you know you can build your own personal assistant in ChatGPT already? Yeah. Even the cheaper version that not so expensive can do that already. You can just upload the file, and then ask you to refer, these are the answer, these are the what, right? And they come up with the answer for you. You're not cheating. It's just helping you do faster, and you'll be surprised. You're probably going to find an answer that you don't even know about it. I'm surprised myself sometimes when I say, ooh, this agent's smarter than me. Yeah. And you think they're not creative. I give you an example. I used Gemini recently to write a song from English to Mandarin. I don't know how to write Mandarin song. I don't read Mandarin. I speak a little bit, I'm not good in it. So there's a different culture between Mandarin and English and Western, right? So I write it in a Western way. So when I try to put it in Gemini, and I said, Gemini Pro, I said, write me the lyrics in English. So it do a direct translation. And I read about it, it sounds so weird. It sounds so weird, it's like, yeah, it sounds odd. So then I reprompted, I said, this is my instruction for you. Make sure the structure is the same. Make sure the meaning, the ultimate meaning for the overall song is the same. But you have the freedom to write the lyrics whatever, how you like it to be, as close as possible. And boom, when it came out, I was blown away. I was like, I didn't know you can write that way. It is more creative than how I wrote it. I never thought that you can do that. I said, this is amazing. They literally use Chinese literature to write in a Mandarin song based on an English lyrics. Right? So we have all this tool already. Use that, get someone to learn about it. Go to YouTube, then you learn more. Right? And you'll speed up your job really fast. After you do it, you share with the rest of them. Then they will say, oh, you can do that. Do a forum as well. My team have a meeting every Wednesday that we talk about all these ideas, how to do it. How to do this, how to do that, and then we share it. Like I said, the moment you share it, it's fast. That's why I told her just now, hey, if you write it right, you come here, you teach the student, you learn really, really fast that way. Right? Because that's our goal. Okay? Thank you so much. Great question. I hope you can take something out of today, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for the thoughtful questions, and thank you, Leonard, for the insightful speech. May I now invite Prof. Yap to pass Leonard a token of appreciation? Yes, Prof. Yap? Yeah. Yes. All right, photos. So, yes, so Prof. Yap and Prof. Andrew and Mr. Leonard, probably we can just group together over here for a group photo. I think we can just sit, yeah, correct. Yes, just to squeeze in the center over here. Thank you. Thank you for attending the event. I think it's a very good session today. So all of you are invited for light refreshments. at the ground floor. Thank you. Have a great weekend.